Hello, everybody. This is Andrew Cosman, physiotherapist with ADM Ottawa Physiotherapy. And today I wanted to address the question of what caused my injury. It may not be obvious to everybody, but not everybody has had a trauma that causes them to come to physiotherapy. Many times we think that having a car accident, some sort of sports injury while on the field could be the source of most people who need physiotherapy. But many times there's actually no particular cause. When asking the basic question at the beginning of an interview of what caused your injury, I would say easily more than 50% of people don't have an explanation as to why their pain began. To help explain this, I'll share an analogy with you that you may have heard of from me if you've ever been in the clinic and asked this question. But um, it's related to a cup, and we all are basically different sized cups with different amounts of capacity. Um, and what we mean by that is basically a point at which your tissues might start to be injured or aggravated for one reason or another. So we're all different size cups, and basically at a certain point, our cups may overflow. But then the question is, what is it that's filling the cup that can cause the injury or to cause the cup to overflow? So for that, we have many things that can potentially fill our cup. First of all, having a past injury of a particular area may be a predictor of a future injury. So that can be a factor. Another factor can be our handedness, being right or left-handed, could be a factor in how much we use one particular side. But we don't always think about things about, for example, how we get dressed, how we will use one arm maybe a bit differently than the other going into the jackets, and how the use of our body is generally different. Sleeping on one side, if we're ever at a computer and using the mouse on more on one side than the other, and so on. So the use of our sides are different. And depending on the usage, that could be one element that fills the cup. Having stressors in our lives could be something else that causes that cup to get full and decrease the capacity or the sensitivity of our nervous system for perceiving pain. Having not only the previous injuries, not only having uh, the decreased sensitivity, but also age. You know, a lot of people will boil things down to age or weight or what have you, but that's only ever just one factor. It is a factor, but it's one out of many. So as we start going down the list of things that can increase the likelihood of somebody getting injured, the question then becomes, okay, so then what do we do about it, and where does physio come in? So first of all, it could be a question of identifying these factors that have eventually caused the cup to overflow, and then accordingly trying to address them. So, for example, if it happens to be a tissue-dominated issue, we can start to work on the tissues by strengthening the muscles or doing the appropriate interventions for the tissue. If it is something that's a little bit more stress related, for example, that's an element, then we can, sorry, not more stress related, as in that's the only cause, but if there are elements of stress in the cup, then basically we start to try to address those, maybe some basic ideas of doing enjoyable activities that puts you in a better mood, but to the point also where maybe recommendations to seeing a psychologist could be appropriate. So when we are able to identify what elements are filling the cup, then we can gradually take one of two approaches. Start trying to take elements out of the cup if they are modifiable elements, like the strength of certain muscles, because in many cases the elements are not modifiable, maybe like age. Um, so apart from modifying the elements that we can, the other thing is to try to increase the size of the cup, right? And that's where the physiotherapy could come in by increasing the capacity of the tissues, again by perhaps by strengthening not only the injured areas but areas around it, but also by doing certain manual therapy techniques or what have you that might also improve mobility and increase the capacity and the size of each individual's cup. So the two approaches, taking things out of the cup or increasing the capacity of the cup, are where physios sort of come in order to reduce the likelihood of the injury reoccurring. So if you have any questions about what caused your injury, as always, you can reach out to 613-820-8765. Take care.